There we go. That was a little bit. I thought I'd put it in because I'm an old person, and so it was Good Kid, who I think are like an indie band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Premier Inn.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, they do a lot of those sort of that music. Anyway, I digress. I'm here with Double J, Jen, absolutely megastar, and also we got a Gesell's Best.
A Gesell's Best.
Yes.
And dyslexia. Yeah.
And it's Wade McColl.
Yes.
From Baldivis Times.
Oh, okay. So, tell us a little bit, Wade McColl, because I'm ignorant, because I'm old, and Jen's clever, and she's not ignorant. Tell us about Wade McColl.
But you didn't mention that I'm not old.
Well,
all right. Yes. Tell us about Baldivis Times.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. So my name's Wade, and I run a community news platform called the Baldivis Times. In about 6 months, we've grown our platform to over 34,000 followers, and we bring in 1.6 million viewers on a weekly basis. We've already been featured on multiple different mainstream news networks like news.com.au, the Sydney Morning Herald, The Age, WA Today, Brisbane Times and Yahoo News, AU and NZ on both community issues and local movements.
That's amazing.
It's...
yeah, your jaw dropped. So did mine.
Mine hasn't got as far as dropped anyway. So when did this start,
So we started this journey about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's been short, but it has been absolutely jam-packed.
That's crazy, yeah.
So how much time does this take of yours?
It's every single day. So I don't, like, this is going to be my job and my business. And
your life, basically.
My life, and it's every day. I mean, from the moment I get up, I'm out there, I'm doing stories. After this even, I've got multiple other meetings I've got after this interview in itself. We're currently working on a story on homelessness here in the Rockingham area, and also working with a couple local businesses as well to give out fuel vouchers for the ones that need it most.
Oh, wow. I'm one of those. So I actually met you at Catalpa Festival on the weekend. And so what were your thoughts on the Catalpa Festival?
The Catalpa Festival was amazing. Before we went out to that event with me and the Baldivis Times team, we knew barely anything about the history of the Catalpa Festival. And only when we were invited out and we started looking into it more, and we were amazed with how much rich history is in our local community. Yeah. And I just feel like it is not pushed out enough in our local area, and people are so unaware. I was talking to multiple residents who were there at the festival as well, who had no idea. You know, they're in their 40s and above, and they've been living here for 20 plus years, and had no idea it even existed, this history.
Yeah, and the fact that it was the 150th anniversary, it should have been more known.
Exactly.
And that's what by us being part of it, we're trying to make it known for the historical value of it as well.
Definitely, and I 100% agree. I mean, you know, when you're coming up on 150 years, you would think that we would have double the numbers that were there that day.
For sure. Yeah.
And just the whole story behind it is amazing.
It is. What I find amazing too is, you know, there's a lot of relevance to, say, somewhere like Fremantle Prison as a tourist destination. Everybody knows Fremantle Prison, and yet these blokes escaped from Fremantle Prison and came to Rockingham, and yet nobody knows it, which is funny. You think there'd be some correlation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think there'd be an extension on that tourism part, you know, that story that went to the Fremantle prison and then coming down here to Rockingham. I
actually stayed at the Fremantle prison last year and did the whole tours there, but there's no mention of this there.
That's not true, Wade. She got locked up there.
I did. I did actually get locked up there, but not. I was a guest, Nick. Come on. All my bad jokes got me there, Nick.
That's why I got life. So, Wade, we've got a little run sheet here. So, and one of the things is, where did you get your motivation from? How did it all sort of come together?
I actually really want to know this.
So with me, I mean, a lot of what I do and what I say was about, giving a voice to the unheard in our community. Beforehand, before I started the Baldivis Times, I just saw a lot of chatter, places in local Facebook groups and local Insta pages, stuff like that. People complaining about local issues but not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, well, I want to make a platform where someone does something and we go ahead and start documenting that journey. So we started the Baldivis Times, and a lot of it comes back down to my school life. I was bullied because of physical disabilities I have. So I have something called brachydactyly type A1. For the viewers who are looking
Can
on...
you spell that?
I cannot spell that. For the viewers who are here looking on camera, so with my hands, I'm actually missing a joint in every single one of my fingers, and it also is my toes. And with this genetic disability as well, so I was also born with 2 severe clubbed feet where I had to have double Achilles surgery to stretch my feet back into place so I could walk normally. Throughout my high school life, I was bullied, called Stubby, Stumpy, all sorts of horrendous names. School life was absolutely horrific, and I felt like I never had a voice or could go ahead and speak out. So by having a platform that I can go ahead and help others voice their concerns and not feel trapped, it helps myself on a personal level. But a lot of the inspiration came from when I hiked Bluff Knoll back in 2024. It's a 1.1 kilometre high mountain down in the Stirling Ranges. And as someone with my disabilities and severe clubbed feet, I was told by doctors I would never be able to do things like that. Well, guess what? I conquered the mountain, got to the top, and that's when I knew I could do more.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I could do more than I ever expected.
That is amazing.
Isn't it a great...
Yeah, wow.
Isn't it? I mean, how do you feel now, having gone from where you were at school, etc., to where you are now in such a... It would be a short time span?
Yeah, short time span. I mean, it was a real shock. Like, I was looking for work beforehand. I just had finished a diploma in film and television. I was trying to really get into the media industry and get my foot in, and no one was picking me up. People wanted 2 years experience, 3 years experience. I'd studied hard, I graduated high school, and still wasn't enough. So since creating this journey, it's opened up so many avenues. I mean, we're now recognised by the US and UK consulates. We're invited to General Consulate Colleen Altstock's private residence for a media sundown with the leaders and journalists from 9 News, 7 News, West Australian.
That is cool.
We're now gotten sponsorship from Woolworths Australia to help support the community in giveaways. I mean, just the opportunities and avenues that have opened up in just 6 months is phenomenal. And now we're working behind the scenes with different travel companies, shoe companies, all sorts of stuff to bring out more content to the community.
Yeah, wow.
When you say, I think you've mentioned a couple of times, so you have people...
Yeah, so our team consists of my partner, my missus. So we've been together now for up this month 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And we've been...
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh, okay.
22. So I met her when I was 17 and she was 16. She went to a school up near Hall's Head, up near Murdoch and stuff.
Yeah.
And we just met and started from there, and now we live with each other, and she helps me as my assistant director and cultural awareness officer because she is an Aboriginal woman and she has strong cultural ties to country, so she helps me on that avenue on going ahead, and when we do stories on cultural issues we go ahead and are mindful, respectful, and it also helps with her family connections and going ahead and documenting those sides of things.
Very cool.
And then I also have my mum. I mean, my mum supports me throughout everything.
Lovely.
So she's a part of the team also. I mean, I couldn't do it without the support of family and the people in my inner circle.
Yeah.
But other than that, I say we a lot because it's not just me. I wouldn't be here with this community, 30,000+ people following me, if it wasn't for the community. So they're
itself.
the we, they're the us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I love that. Yeah, very cool. So what was it like in the beginning, like starting?
In the beginning?
Yeah.
So I remember our first post, I was just up one night and I was just looking around my room and I was just sick of it, just constantly staying at home. I couldn't find work and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start the Baldivis Times. We went ahead, I created the name, and then the next day they had TGK events coming up at the local Baldivis Steel Tree Park.
Right.
Went there, took some photos on my phone, and I just did a post and let the community know. And then from there, I just started reporting on things that people suggested. Hey, there's flooding at this park. Started doing that, and then the story started getting bigger and then more impactful and more emotional, and then it's just, it skyrocketed. And a real turning point was the Warnbro fires.
Yeah.
So there were Warnbro fires. A lot of people remember that in the community when those fires happened.
Yeah.
And we were the one news source that was on the ground giving consistent updates. I mean, for me, over those 3 days, I probably got maybe 8 hours sleep. There was a few days that I stayed up for 48 hours reporting throughout the dark of the night, 4 a.m. doing updates on the fires and what's happening for the community. I was out there taking photos of the big AC-130s flying over and doing water drops.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where it really picked up. People saw our true, want to help the community.
Yeah. And so what were your followers before the fires and then after?
Yeah, before the fires, we were probably sitting, I think, around 8,000 followers. And then after the fires, we jumped to around 15,000 followers. And then from there, more people saw us, and then more people started suggesting us and telling their friends. And then, it just grew from there.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is very cool.
You know, it's like there's so many questions.
I know.
And you just don't know where to start. Like, are followers, are they mainly people between, I'm just picking an age thing, say...
It's all ages, hey?
Yeah, all ages?
So I'm majority, our main target audience in what our stats tell us is 72% of our audience are female between the ages of, I believe, 25 to 55 years old. And then we
weren't thinking that way.
No.
Yeah, and then only, I think it's, 28% are male.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not, a majority of our audience are in their 30s and above. Like, majority, like 60
So were you
to
thinking
80%.
young people were
I was
following
thinking
him?
between 15 and maybe 21, 22.
I was
And that's
thinking
the thing.
older than 40 and 50. I was thinking older.
Yeah, and that's one of
Yeah.
the reasons why we went ahead and picked Facebook as our main area to start off with. We saw that these bans on social media were coming into place.
Very
and
clever.
we went ahead and we're like, I had only just finished a certificate in social media marketing, and people don't realize that there is over 1 billion active users on Facebook every single day. So I went ahead and saw that there was that gap. I saw there was a gap in the community. My target audience and the people that aren't going to be banned from social media are going to still be on Facebook. So I started there.
Very clever.
Wade, were you, we're going backwards a little bit, if that's okay?
That's fine.
So at school, were you academically gifted?
Well, I wouldn't say that. A lot of the bullying obviously really affected my education. I mean, I just scraped through in high school, just got my waist. I did get recognised, though, as top student in digital design photography, because that was one of my passions. It allowed me to escape, the inside hustle and go out into nature, take photos,
Away
that
from the
sort
bullies.
of get away from all of that sort of horrible aspect.
Very cool.
You're right, Jen?
Yeah. So why do you think the page has grown so much, so quickly, though?
I think it's, I would say completely with my full belief is people are sick of corporatized media. They've lost the human connection.
Yes.
And with me going ahead, that was one thing that I said with my page is that, for example, I didn't realise the stat, 52% of the population says they don't trust corporate media anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah, over 52. And that's
growing.
a jump of 5 to 6% in the last 5 years. With recent conflicts, recent issues around the world, people have just lost that trust. And by going ahead and starting a page where I'm community first, I'm putting my face out there. I'm not hiding behind a big company or a brand. I'm the only face that shows up on my page.
Yeah.
And I tell people, this is what it is. Talk to me personally. I go and have personal meetings with local businesses, local families. We talk about issues, and then I see how I can use my platform to assist them.
Jeez.
Very cool.
Have any, not so much the corporate papers, as you say, but have any, shall we say, politicians thought, look at this.
Yes.
Are they, we'd like him on it,
Yeah.
dare I
Try and
say.
hone in on you?
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
I've had politicians already coming at me and trying to bring me in and take me to their offices and stuff like that to talk about things behind the scenes, and I try to really keep myself central with my policies and political stance. Like, I obviously have my own opinions and all that, but that's the thing. I've done stories with on Labor issues, with Labor people with the Nationals, Liberals, and One Nation. I mean, I cover all topics, all avenues, because I see if I go ahead and start pushing
voicing
or siding with one side, that's when people will see me as the corporate media again. I'm now being bought out, and then you'll lose that's followers. What I don't want, and that's the whole thing. With community support, I can keep independent.
Very cool. So what was your most emotional story that you've covered?
That's a good one.
Oh, most emotional. Oh my goodness.
I know you do missing people.
Probably one that hit me the hardest to my heart was going ahead and reporting on the best battery project that's being built here in Baldivis.
Yeah, I saw that.
$500 million battery. I mean, a lot of local news agencies and stuff, they just said, one-time articles, but we actually went out and met with the family who is right against the property, right? So they're going to be building, 8 metre tall, almost 2-story walls right along the side of these people's property, and it's going down the whole entire side. And they, right, in the 40 years plus they've been there, when they first bought the property, there was 3 trees. They've revegetated it with over 100 plus native trees to bring back life into the area. So they have black cockatoos and all sorts of different endangered animals now back in the area. And now they're going to build a big establishment that's going to have light pollution going on all hours of the night, humming 30 plus decibels. And and it's just horrible. These people, they're all about nature first. They went ahead and followed the revegetation guidelines with the city of Rockingham to revegetate their gardens, to bring back nature. And all of a sudden, the big industrial facility is going to be built right next door. And just seeing their hearts drop, 30 plus years of trying to do the right thing, bring nature back, do what's needed. And then all of a sudden they get told, with only being given, around a month or less to actually round up all the locals to try to fight and put in their petitions and put in their thoughts. It just doesn't seem right. And that's what really hit me hard, because, I was there, they broke down in front of me crying.
Oh, no.
And this is the thing, for me, I've always been about giving people a voice. And then it brought me back to those days where I felt the same, where I felt like I didn't have a voice when I was younger. So seeing that was a real personal connection to me. And also seeing their struggles, seeing what they're going through. And that's one thing we want to do with our news sources, try to fight past that just, top level information. We want to go deeper. We want to see the emotion. We want to know who you are.
Yeah. Very cool. Wow. That's why I actually started here, because I went through some stuff and I felt like I had no voice. And I just answered a Facebook ad one day, do you want to co-host? And I was like, maybe I'll do that, and it'll take away my fear of public speaking, and I'll be able, and it has been my therapy.
Look, you got to fly a plane just recently.
I did get to fly a plane, yes. Yes, I got a voice to tell everyone that. This is your captain speaking. Yes.
Exactly.
Very cool,
it's great. It's great that it gave you that voice. I think it's just so important. So many people feel like they don't have a voice. And, one thing that I've been living by with what I've been doing is you don't know till you try. We always have that stigma that people already have their predetermined thoughts on you or what you do, but you don't know till you reach out. Correct. And how I've seen it is, 80% of the people out there want to help you. They want to help you succeed. They're there to help support you. Yeah, you just don't know till you try.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like it's a whole new. It's like that movie is a whole new world, you know. Yeah. But to hear people like Wade come in.
I know, right?
It's
very
inspiring.
Yeah, we both said that at the same time. By the
way. Do we? Yeah, it really is. I mean, you said before. I mean, we're going off to quite a few questions here, but you did say before that. I forgot what I was going to say now, but it's heartening to see that for more mature people like myself that there's still that
the passion,
belief,
the fire,
and that the heart and the passion, and wanting, because so many people these days, not your generation, just in general, it's all about them.
Yeah.
And to come here to people say,
it's refreshing. Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing, you know, how I've seen it, and I've talked to so many business owners, you know, from people who believe in karma to divine intervention, whatever, they all say the same thing. Whatever you give out, you're going to get it back some way, one way or another. And I used to not believe that. I mean, you know, I used to just, you know, think the world's always out to get me, hated the world, you know, just a real dark place. But then, you know, as I've started giving out to the community, helping people,
perspective has changed.
Just all these opportunities have opened up. It's almost every single day I just get a whole new opportunity, and then I have that mindset, you don't know till you try. So I just go, okay, well, let's do it. Let's meet, let's have a chat, let's do this.
That's a great message to leave for listeners and viewers as well. You don't know till you try.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And because, again, I'm just talking about the media in general, because there seems to be so much more focus on bad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether, you know, particularly whether it be young people, whether it be whatever. But there's so many good stories out there.
There is, yeah. That's why we like to cover the positive ones to keep people.
And yours is just a really great story.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know, I have people, every single day I go outside, I have people approaching me and, like, commending me for what I'm doing, and they're saying, you know, thank you so much. Yeah, every day, it's every day.
You can't go to the shops without...
at the shops I get nods and stuff like that. I mean, just recently when I went to Woolworths at North Stargate in Baldivis, did my shopping, and then all of a sudden some of the staff members came up and they said, I'll pay for all your groceries.
No.
And I paid for $100+ in groceries for my family for a week, you know, so...
We're not that famous yet, Nick.
But it's like, but that's what I mean, like, just simple things like that, and, like, people just come up to me and they just open up their heart, and it's because I'm so open and I talk about my personal struggles and everything online. I humanise myself and humanise my brand, so people know I'm not BS. I'm not gonna go ahead and lie to you. It's just all real with me, and
that's probably why you're making such a great impact on the community and have so many followers, because you are inspirational and because you are and authentic.
Yeah, and that's what ties back into what I was just saying is I don't like taking, like, you know, people say, oh, I love what you're doing, but it's like, I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for you, you know, for your support, for you following me. I wouldn't be here without you, because you're the drive. That's how I see it.
Can I ask you a question? Have you encountered bullying since doing this? Like, how bad are the bullies? They're not just young kids at high school, because
adults,
they are everywhere and every age.
Don't worry, like, a lot of people are scared to start, like, their social media journey or posting content because they're going to get negative comments and stuff like that. Oh my God, starting this, the amount of racism, the amount of belittling, the amount of horrific language towards women, you know, all sexes, just everything. Vile language. Yeah. You know, I've even, some of the stories I've reported on, you know, for example, we reported on an incident that took place at the Rockingham Centre. You probably saw a man standing up on top of boba stands. Yeah, we had people that apparently knew him contacting us saying that we're going to get you. You should look out when you're out and about, because we'll find you. Stuff like that, for reporting on an incident of a man scaring shoppers and putting the whole entire shopping centre. He had ice cream.
Ice cream
sticks.
There
was another knife one.
People were told, staff members were told that it was knives over the intercom radio.
That's right.
And then they were put in lockdown. So obviously there's the assumption, okay, there's knives. You know, we already see all the incidents around the country with, you know, different machete attacks and things like that. Your mind is going to jump to the worst. That's just how a situation like that is. And I reported on that, obviously. Multiple news sources reported on that. It wasn't just me. It was, you know, made international attention that did. But that's the thing. I've had, you know, different threats. I've had on different stories, I've done threats on my life. You know, all sorts of horrific stuff, just because they don't agree with me voicing people's opinions.
So is it just words that they threaten you with?
Yeah, just words.
You haven't been threatened in personally?
Well, one story we did do a story on the bushland behind the North Stargate shopping centre, and we were taking photos of carnivorous plants in the bushland, so plants that eat bugs and stuff. So a lot of people don't realise we have so much, like, protected and rare species just in our backyard that are facing destruction from development agencies, right? We were been back there and we were taking photos, and then all of a sudden it started raining and we're like, oh, okay, we should probably head back. And then we hear some person yell out, "Oi!" And there's 5 fully grown men in hoodies, masked up, starting to walk up the bush trail, and they're probably like 50 metres away. And me and my partner, we were the only ones there by ourselves. You know, we have like $1,000+ in camera gear. We're like, oh shit. And we started fast walking around the corner. As soon as they're out of sight, we just bolted through the bushland. We just went off the trail. We were jumping over logs while it was pouring rain. We were slipping around. We just ran as fast as we could, and we got out of there, got in the car, left.
Yeah.
Did
you do a story about that moment?
No, we didn't do a story. We didn't do a story on it. But yeah, there's so many things that have happened where I don't do stories, because it's like, I don't want people to think it's about me. That's one thing that I've just strived to be. It's not about me, it's about the people around me. And like, for example, today, you know, we've just did a story on how, you know, we've been getting so many reports of the Baldivis Sports Complex of mothers getting threatened, getting called slurs, getting all sorts of heinous language chucked at them. And I was like, okay, well, it's time for me to break my story. And back in May, same thing happened to me and my partner. We were just walking past. We heard a kid yell out. We looked up. As soon as we made eye contact, he started hurling death threats. What are you looking at? We're going to crush your skull in. We're going to do this and that. All sorts of threats. And, you know, we opened up about that. And already today with the post, we've already had a counsellor reach out saying, we're doing something. Yeah. And I'm going to talk to you later tonight, and we're going to help disclose what's been happening behind the scenes with this. And also, we've had multiple mothers and parents coming forwards as well, similar experiences. But just things like that, you know. I've had so many situations behind the scenes, and then when I open up, it also builds the trust, it builds everything, and then it creates more stories for us. I mean,
with this it's probably like a lot of things, Wade, that there's a gap. Like, you think everything will be covered, you know, like there's no gaps left, whether it be media or whatever, and you found a gap. Like, I would imagine there's a lot of people in Rockingham, Baldivis, Kwinana, would think, how on earth did Wade do that and I can't do that?
Yeah. I think it was just more of what I didn't see in the community. You know, obviously there's already filled spaces in the media landscape and doing content and stuff like that. But it was what resonated with me wasn't there. And it's about finding what doesn't resonate with you that you can go ahead and accomplish in your local area. Like, you know, I first started with a little series called Love Thy Neighbour. It was going to be about showcasing the kindness of community and your neighbours, and, you know, giving recognition to people who don't ask for it, you know, people who do things out of the kindness of their heart. We did a story on this local resident named Pat, and he goes ahead and gives out, he has a little garden in his backyard, and he gives out all his veg, all his fruit to all his local neighbours, some of them being terminally ill. He also donates his blood, you know, gives out eggs. There's all sorts of things. And that was really like one of the driving points in me wanting to give people a voice too, was doing that documentary back when I was in high school, and then knowing this is something people need. Yeah. And then it just, that passion's been there ever since. And then this year or last year, we were like, okay, well, let's bring this into fruition. And we started the Baldivis Times,
So what does the future look like for Baldivis Times?
The future, so right now we're in the works with a website, so we can go ahead and start, you know, pushing out articles and start bringing in people that way. We want to also offer a bit of media service as well to businesses, going ahead and helping humanise their brand, even sitting down for a documentary of them. What's their story? What's their challenges? So many, you know, people who own businesses have stories of, you know, just, you know, living in poverty to now growing a business where it pays for their whole family, you know, things like that, humanising businesses. And I mean, within this month and next month, we want to try to reach on Facebook 50,000 followers. So right now we're at 34,000 followers today. We only just reached that today. And we want to try to grow that audience, and then we're expanding on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We want to do more short form, real content, on the ground news, interviews, stuff like that.
We've got however many 30-odd thousand, and one now, because I'm going to...
Oh, okay, because yesterday it was 33,900 or something when I was... See, in just that short amount of time.
That's the thing, when I was sitting out there, it's now like 33,998 or something, so it's like, oh, well, after I'm done here, I'll probably be at 34,000.
Oh,
so.
Do I get a prize if I'm the 34,000?
Oh, no. I'll just make another profile and then I'll be the 34,000. We do have some listeners' questions. Should we go through those?
Okay, we shall do.
Definitely.
Actually,
Right.
can
So
I
these
just...
were from the Facebook post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm cheating, I'm going to number 3, which is
You
really,
are.
because I was going to ask, did you have anybody that you held up there that you...
Inspired by.
Yeah, but also, and this includes that, if you could invite 3 people from history, past, present or present, living or deceased, who would they be and why?
Was this invite them for an interview or to...
No, like a dinner.
Just any
and-
3 people
any
from
3,
history.
Oh, any 3 people. Oh my goodness.
You started with a hard one, Nick.
Oh, that is a hard one. That is a hard one. Oh my god.
Aaron Brockovich.
Oh, that is a hard one. I mean, living. So one of the people that I'm inspired by is a journalist in America who does content on YouTube called Andrew Callahan from Channel 5 News. And he does similar content, but it's all video where he goes out and he talks to people on, protests, all sorts of different content like that. And it's really like where I want to see the Baldivis Times vision go here for our local area. So I'd love to have a chat with him. For the conspiracy things out there, I'd love to maybe invite like John F. Kennedy and see like what was happening all around that time. Cause he kind of shut down the CIA and all that sort of stuff. Because I'm interested in all that sort of like government stuff.
That's a whole other show that we should do. Seriously, I'm interested in it.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Rabbit holes.
And then for a third, I don't even know. God, it's hard. Maybe the community can decide that one then.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I like that. That's very clever. Yeah. All right. So I did have someone interested in knowing more about your creative process.
Yep.
So where and how do you get your inspiration and content ideas?
So at the start, it literally started with me and my partner biking around on mountain bikes in our local area, and we would be like, that doesn't look safe. Maybe we should do a story on that. Or if we see the aftermath of an accident, then we'll look into it when we get home and find information out, and then we'll do a story. Things like that. Just riding around, looking around my local area. And that's one thing that still sticks with me, is that if I was in local government, would you not be driving around your area constantly and then looking around and going, oh, that looks
zones,
like absolute, that looks horrific. Let's go ahead and do something to fix that. Things like that. Just general appeal of your local area. I mean, I went down to Mandurah just the other day for a local business thing. And just going down there, there's a lot more pride, I feel, in their street appeal. And not to say that the council's not doing anything. I mean, they've done a recent nature scheme to bring in more trees and planting. But God, I think there just needs to be so much more upkeep in the local area. But yeah, with stories, I mean, a lot of it now is just people reaching out. Yeah. It is just people reaching out. So people see us, they see our stories, they know we resonate. And then, we're getting like 25 to 50 plus messages every single day from new people that we don't even know. And then, people who are driving around, they'll see an accident just happen and we'll get first-hand information. I mean, when there was a drowning that took place, really sad, at the Rockingham foreshore, we were told the second the man was struggling to the second he was pulled out, and then when he was getting resuscitated, all live before any other news. And that's what I mean. We have so much connection to our community. Yeah. We get influx of information as it's happening, as the second goes, and we do a story as it's happening live. So you don't
necessarily have to be there. You've already got people from the community.
And that's the thing. I get confirmation.
Yeah.
Hey, can you explain who's there? Maybe call me,
FaceTime
me,
you're everywhere at
take
once.
photos for me, stuff like that. People are more than happy to do that. Yeah. And that's how we do a lot of it as well with our news. Because
I wondered that, because it seems like you're everywhere at once. And
majority of the stories where I'm in the photo, or it's like my personal account, I'm there. But like things where there's a car accident or things like that, I'm not personally on the scene.
Yeah.
No.
Right. All right. Hang on. So your turn to ask the next listener question.
Well, next listener question.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You going to pick another hard one or what, Nick?
Would I do that? Yeah. No, I wouldn't. No. Did you study journalism at all?
Me? No, didn't study journalism. So I did my diploma in film and television my degree, and I just, my whole background is in the media industry sphere. So high school, Cert 2 media industries, then Cert 3, you know, film and television, then diploma film and television. You know, I had already did a documentary on Brock Bevan. You had him here as well.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
the
an interview
Penguins.
him on the Penguins.
Have you done that yet?
Yeah, I did an interview with Brock Bevan. I did a little documentary.
Have you done the jump with them?
The jump? No. They've invited me multiple times.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't been game enough. I know you did. I saw that. And yeah, we did a doco on them, and then we won the People's Choice Award for the Rock the Boat Film Festival when we did that story before we started the Baldivis Times. Yeah.
Jeez. Very cool. All right. What else have I got here that you haven't already said? Let me have a look. Have you ever seen a comment that had to be deleted or you thought that was bullying or offensive?
100%. Yep. So
every day.
lot of our every day, a lot of our stories, you know, whatever we do, we're going to have people like, for example, they're like, you know, youth issues, right? You know, I don't agree with youth crime, but you'll have people up in arms saying we need to kill someone, something horrific, like out of like, whoa. That is too far.
That's too far. Yeah.
Too far. So I do not condone any of that. So we delete all those comments. People that go ahead. Do you have
someone that does that?
All me manually.
Really?
All me. Every time I post, I'm in the comments. Every other hour, I go through the comments and I have a look. And then if there's things I miss, people send me messages and go, "Hey, is this okay? Should this be deleted?"
Wow.
And then I'll delete it. You know, things like that. From the community to doing stuff myself. I plan on bringing in a bit of. I already do have a bit of auto moderation. Like, so for keywords like real horrific slurs, language, it will automatically be deleted by Facebook systems. But a lot. It does not stop.
Okay.
It does not stop.
This isn't a viewer one. This is a me one. Yeah. Do you actually have a life outside of Baldivis Times?
I see the Baldivis Times like as
your
me,
life,
as my life.
What about
like,
socialising and stuff?
This is the thing. It's just me and my partner. I mean, we used to be mates with lots of people, lots of connections, but there's a lot of jealousy in that regard too. If one person starts succeeding in the group, people start putting them down because they want to bring you down on that wavelength where it's like, we don't like you getting above me, you're doing better than me. And that's why, you know, I've had that issue throughout all my friendships, and I've just ended a lot of them because I'm like, I don't need to be dragged down. You know, my parents have gone through that their whole lives, and I've gone through it, and I've seen how it's played effects on their personal health and mental health. And me, I'm just like, well, I'm just going to cut that out. If people want to join me and help me and support me, and I'll support them, then that's what will happen. And for example, we did an article on Lakeside Deli, and then we ended up going on a date with the owners. Bloody
really?
Yeah, Peter and Jack, and they took us out to B Bar, and we had a few drinks.
Is that the one on?
Just under the time zone. Lakeside Deli, along the Salt Lakes on Mandurah Road.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lady.
Phone box.
Yeah, does a lady still own it? Who's always owned it?
Yeah.
She had a daughter working there once. I used to go there as a rep.
Yeah. The girls are doing really good, like doing international, like state level sports and all that. Like they're doing phenomenal. Yeah, and we did this article on that. It was seen by over 300,000 people.
Oh, wow.
You know, and they even told me after my article, they had someone travel all the way from Bunbury just to get one of their burgers that I suggested. Did a review on.
No, where I'm going.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I like my food. I do my food review.
But like, you know, things like that, I've just formed such connections. That's where my friends have come out of. You know, my connections with the community.
Positive people.
You know, I've put positive stuff out there. I've met positive people that align with my morals, and then they've become my friends. They've become the people in my community I care about.
An off-the-track question, which is not from a listener. It's my question here.
You're allowed one of those. Only one. Yeah.
She's a hard taskmaster, Double J. You mentioned quite in our interview here about your partner. So she must be very much on the same wavelength as you.
Definitely. We've been through so much together. I mean, just from all sorts of, you know, horrible things and, you know, so many ups and downs. But, you know, out of all of it, you know, a lot of it comes down to, you know, do you still love me? Do we love each other? Well, we're going to fight through. We're going to get through the hurdle. We're going to keep fighting. And, you know, I'm at a young age. I'm young, but, you know, my parents have been together for over 20-something plus years now. You know, my grandparents were together till they passed, you know, never split, you know, and I still have those same morals. I care about my partner, the person with me to support me. She supports me, I'll always support her, and that's the thing, you know, she's my assistant director, I've brought her on. She's a bit worried to have her face out there, so I haven't plastered her everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to ask
but you know, we both have media cards. I've got her name, her title, everything, blurb on the back. You know, behind the scenes, you know, she'll come out to everything we go to together, and a lot of people know her who have met me in person, have met her, shook hands, I've introduced her, you know, have been to events and stuff. I mean, she was just outside, dropped me off to get here, so, you know, she's a huge help, and and God, I wouldn't be able to do it without the support of my family. Well,
that's the thing, because it's, no matter what we do, to have, it's a unique thing that you are doing.
Yep.
And a lot of partners will go, yeah, you can do that, but that ain't me. So to have somebody on board is amazing.
Partners would get annoyed with your dedication and your time spent on it, but it sounds like you guys
that's the thing, I try to incorporate her as much as possible, right? So like, for example, Bistro 129, just north of Baldivis, they're a little restaurant there, and they bloody sponsored with me and my partner a 7-course full dining session, you know, drinks and all free of charge, and that was their, you know, little thanks to the community and we do, and that was, you know, ways I could bring her into it. You know, we got to have a beautiful dinner, and it's been like that with lots of things we do. You know, we'll go out, have dinners and things like that, and people will just sponsor, or, you know, we love what you do here, take this, do this. And, you know, I mean, a local company off the beaten track that does tourism and stuff out in the bush doing nature trails. Later this month, I told her, you know, I just met her because we want to do a story, and I was telling her, hey, we love nature trails, we did the Bluff Knoll track, and she's like, how about for your 5-year anniversary, we sponsor you for a full getaway bushwalk, toured bushwalk up in the Bibbleman track area, and we're going to get nibbles, the night sky viewing of the meteor showers that are planned for the day, and that's free of charge. Just
for your relationship anniversary.
Yeah, for our relationship anniversary, because I shared this is, you know, this is our 5 years coming up, because she's a part of the business too, and then things like that. That's how I've brought her into it. Just so many ways I've been able to incorporate her, and she's a part of the team.
Very cool, very cool. I'm going to ask this one. What advice would you give to aspiring young journalists hoping to build their own online brand or presence? It's a good one?
Yeah. I mean, for anyone out there, I mean, even if people want help, you come to me, talk with me, call me, you know, whatever you want to do. I mean, I am here to help support people who have a dream, who want to push to do something. I've already been doing it with local community issues, and like I said earlier in this interview, you don't know till you try. That was my whole mindset. You know, I reached out to someone, hey, I'd love to do a story on, you know, I don't know, let's say a restaurant. I'd love to do a little photo shoot on your restaurant, free of charge. A lot of it started free, not paid work, nothing like that. Hey, I just want to get to know who you are and tell your story. God, 99% of people want that. It's free marketing. They get to tell their story. They get to share with the community. And it's just gone from there. I mean, you don't know till you try. Just put your first foot in the door, ask someone a question, and it will go from there. That's how it went with me. And I mean, before you guys continue, like a good example of that was with the Rockingham Fringe Festival, right? I was invited out to do a little bit of photo of the launch party. Did it for free. Then I met Sue Hasey, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce for Rockingham Kwinana.
Oh, yeah.
Found out she was a fan since we started. Then I went and we did an interview with her, and then she invited me to document the key leaders in business meeting that had the US consulate and the UK consulate there. Yeah. And then they saw my photos I took and said, we love what you did. You did a great article. How about you come and meet me up at my house and all this and that. And that's what I mean. It's just little steps. You do that first step and it will just spiral. And that's what I'd say to anyone who's wanting to get into media.
Very cool.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
You know, I can tell by your face.
Oh, I'm just, you know, I think and without getting too self-reflective, you know, it's only as you get older to be cynical, you know, when somebody mentions, say, not so much Facebook, but followers and, you know, I've got this many views, you think that you're going to have a flash bloke with all the go fast hair and all that. No, that's a perception like we all...
Humble, but... Yeah,
you know, and yet you're exactly 100% the opposite. Yeah. And I find it so uplifting.
be
it's
honest.
absolutely
You're
uplifting.
genuine and humble.
Well, yeah, it's just spiraled. I mean, I didn't start it because I wanted a following or I expected I was going to get tens of thousands of people. I thought I would be here far later than I am now.
Yeah.
But, it's just people have resonated. They know they want this in the community. They want to support it. We've already crowdfunded over $7,000 towards camera equipment and stuff for Baldivis Times. For myself, and we've done petitions that have gotten 6,800 plus signatures on local issues. Things like that. It's just the community wants it. They'll support me, and we'll get there. That's I don't like to take all the credit, because I wouldn't be where I am. And that's one thing I don't like is different people who are influencers or journalists. They get the ego starts going, and they see everyone as a number. Yeah. That's why I started doing the giveaways, getting sponsors from the businesses that I've been working with. I'm like, hey, I want to give back to my community. They give me money and I can give back. And that's how I can do it. It doesn't cost me anything because they're the ones sponsoring it. So it's amazing. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you got another one? You got the last one?
No, you can go to the last one.
Oh, no, because I've got quick fire ones. You do the last one. I'm going to do these. Are you all right with that? Yeah, all right.
Jeez, I tell you, she's such a
I'm a little bit lost. I'm not. No.
Okay, outside, if there is any spare time, what brings you joy outside? I mean, obviously, what you get back from the community is great. Do you have anything else that gives you a little bit of enjoyment, Wade?
Yeah, probably nature walks. A lot of what we do is, like, me and my partner, our off time is, we'll cycle to local nature trails and we'll just go for a walk, and with me as well, away from Baldivis Times, I'm also an iNaturalist ambassador. iNaturalist is a citizen science app where you can take photos of different insects, animals, and you upload it to a digital database that can be used by scientists to document migratory patterns, different aspects like that. And that's my go-to. I love macro photography, so I do a lot of macro photography of bugs, insects, different animals, things like that. That's like my getaway. Take photos of all the nice bugs and critters.
That's great though, really, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, again, it's I would assume it's very, very... you're not having to spend money, like you don't say, I'll go out a lot to restaurants or whatever. It's... Yeah,
just little things like that. And
very simple.
And my partner's also very passionate. She's doing a Bachelor in Conservation Science as well. So she's very much into conservation, wildlife, nature. So we just,
that shows in the stories.
Bang heads like that. We love it. We just, go off on each other. We're just like, let's go see some bugs. Let's go do this. We're all for it.
I love that.
Okay, well, Double J here.
I've got some quick fire.
Yeah, these are these quick fire questions are good, aren't they?
Right.
Okay, here we go.
One word to describe Baldivis Times.
Community.
Biggest moment so far?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff coming up I haven't talked about publicly, but
so far
probably publicly recognition from US consulate and local governments. That's the thing. We're already being given media releases and that from City of Mandurah, City of Kwinana, Shire of Murray. Rockingham Council are yet to reply to us to give us official media releases.
Whoa.
Interesting. Very cool. All right, dream interview.
The start off, I would say I want to get Magenta Marshall, MA, or MLA, from the local area. I know it's like dream, I could go with anyone, but I want to start a little an interview series where I fast interview people at a public park and different people in local government and ask them just hard-hitting, what are you doing for the community? What community initiatives are out right now? Things like that. It helps publicise them and it helps the community get a better insight because people don't know. They'll say the government's not doing shit, but there's so much stuff happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
True. I agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so what drives you daily?
Drives me daily?
Yep. Other than your girlfriend to hear.
Getting the interactions I do in public, seeing the smiles on people's faces and the happiness and thanks that they give me for going ahead and informing them, going, we've needed a voice in this community for so long. Like, I was on the train just yesterday, and I was sitting down the train ride talking to someone who was in my recent class that I did down there for a business pitch thing, and I get off, I sit up on the train, and a lady right next to me says, are you Wade from the Baldivis Times? And then just started showering me in thanks for what I've done for the community and things like that. Just knowing that I'm actually making an impact. I'm not just sending something out into the dark void of the internet.
Yeah, and you're not just getting followers because you're there.
That's the thing. It's because I'm actually making an impact.
Absolutely.
So it reminds me every day.
Very cool, very cool. All right, final question. What does this community mean to you?
Oh, everything. I mean, I see so many people on social media wanting to get the world's attention, wanting to become famous, world famous, things like that. It's like I think ego mentality. Yeah. I've always been about form a connection and grow your community around you, and they will help uplift you into the world, because they know that you're worth fighting for, you're worth the community and the world seeing. And just the community means everything. I mean, I wouldn't be able to be here interviewing you. I would have just been, another little person driving past in the car, past the studio. I wouldn't be here being interviewed by you if it wasn't for the community uplifting me to where I am and being able to do what I can to the community. Yeah, it's everything.
Got one more?
You do? Yeah, I've got one more too. Well,
okay. Well, you're going to be no. Okay. Like I interview quite a few people, and from a lot of Christian backgrounds who give back to the community, and the greater percentage of them say, "Oh, well, my father and mother always were part of the community, always part of the church," right?
Yeah.
Was there anything? And you seem so much community based. Was there anything in your upbringing that led you to being community based?
Oh, God.
Good question.
I mean, probably not. I mean, my parents have never been the types of church or of community or helping people.
Volunteer
my
work.
dad is very much, people are out to get you, in the sense that, got to be careful, because he's had a lot of horrible experiences with people, people that have just done him wrong every which way. Yeah. My dad, he's very ill right now, so he's on disability. He's got the skin autoimmune disease and stuff like that, and my mum's his full-time carer. So very much my parents, they've lost a lot of hope and stuff like that. And, if I can give people hope that there are people out there to help, they've just been surprised. I mean, the amount of community support for just what I'm doing, and that's all they care about. All they care about is seeing me succeed and helping the community. And,
So you'd be restoring some hope to your parents.
Yeah, restoring hope to them in the world. I don't know. It's been a journey. I'll just say that. With what I've been doing for the community, none of my family are very community minded.
Isn't that strange? Double J.
Actually, my family weren't either.
So,
so it's just...
Yeah, it's really unusual for such a young person as you are to have that.
Yeah. My mum, she just raised me to be compassionate and caring and have value.
It's a big start, isn't it?
That's the thing. If I didn't have my family to fall back on when I was going through all the bullying, all the horrible stuff in my younger years, I don't know where I would have been. Going ahead and cementing, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together. I'm very family first minded.
Yeah, I love that.
And then it's great, isn't it?
It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My last question, and I promise it will be the last. I just want, do you have a message to give to people that are listening or watching?
Oh,
good one.
I'll just say to the community out there, you don't know till you try. You might have a horrible upbringing. You might have, gone through a divorce, breakups. You might have, gone through bankruptcy, all of it. There is always going to be light at the end of the tunnel. I just see life as a wave. It's like an ocean. Things are going to be choppy, but then you're going to get to shallow waters where everything's still again, and you're going to find stillness, oneness, and you're going to get through it. I mean, so many people lose hope, think they're going to have to give up, they're not going to be able to get through this, but just wait till the next day. Don't make that decision until you've given it a day, and then you might go, I'll give it another day. And then you'll get through it. That's how I've done it. That's what I've done with all my ups and downs. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I just cannot thank you enough, Wade. Honestly, from the, one of the hardest things I find in this thing is that you know, I'm not trying to pretend to be genuine, but being genuine, and that's all I can be too, and Double J. And it's been one of the most amazing interviews I've done in my time, and I can't honestly thank you enough.
I try to be transparent.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, you
I'm
are.
happy to
You
answer
have.
anything. I'm not closed off. I'm very open-minded, and I've always said that to people. I'm here to help. I'm here to. You could listen.
Very touching, very inspiring.
It was. Thanks again,
thank
Wade.
you.
And
Thank you very much.
you know, I'm going to join your Facebook for sure and be a follower.
No,
not because.
Because you want the prize, Nick. Come on, you want the prize.
I just think it's just brilliant, and
it is.
you know, I can read what you're doing on that, and it's an uplifting thing. I don't have to go and read one of the rags out there, you know, about all the bad stuff. I can read genuine stuff, which is happening in my community by somebody I've met and I'm impressed by.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Wade.